The countdown is on. Just 1 week left until the election, and Donald Trump is using the new FBI probe into Hillary Clinton's email server to stump the blue states in the final days of his presidential campaign.
Michigan hasn't been, what is it, like 35 years or something like that. No Republican has won since like Reagan or some many years ago. They say, oh, well, you're even in Michigan. So I say, let's go to Michigan. We just left another place. I said, let's go and win it.
So how could this impact the Senate? Here to break down the most vulnerable seats, senior fellow at the King's College in New York, Scott Rasmussen. Thank you for joining us once again on Tuesday.
Great to be with you.
Can you believe we have 7 days to go, and we have this latest scandal, the email scandal happening?
This is a season that none of us could have predicted.
No.
I mean, this story coming in the last week and a half is unbelievable.
Yeah.
When you look
let's talk about these states in particular, because you believe that these states could be most in play.
That's right. The Senate, battle for control of the Senate is going to be very close. The starting point, Republicans have an edge in the Senate right now, 54 to 46. But as you can see, 8 states are in play that are held by Republican senators, just one by a Democrat.
Now,
Several of these states.
Red because, just to explain to people at home, because currently the senator from here is Republican, but that doesn't necessarily mean they lean Republican.
Correct. Wisconsin has Ron Johnson as a senator, but it's a Democratic-leaning state. So a lot of these states very much in play. And when you start to look at what happens, there are 3 states where we kind of think we know who's going to win. Florida, Marco Rubio has been in trouble, or the Florida state was in trouble early in the year, but Marco Rubio seems to have the edge.
Better now.
And so you'd expect the Republicans to win there. Illinois and Wisconsin, all year, all the pundits have been saying these are going to flip from Republican to Democrat. That's why they're blue on this map. However, late news in from Wisconsin, the polls are tightening there. There's at least one internal poll that shows Johnson ahead by a point. These are states that let us know something big might be happening.
Now, are those polls after the email investigation, the reopening
and after.
Okay.
The Democrats are pouring some more money into Wisconsin. I think the message here is things are tightening much closer than we expected. Okay. Message here, though, is if the Democrats lose either Wisconsin or Illinois, if the Republicans lose Florida, we know something big is happening. You know, that would be a trendsetter that would shock us. However, when you look at the Senate, these are the 4 states, Missouri, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and New Hampshire, that are likely to be the most competitive. 3 of them are battleground states in the presidential race, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and New Hampshire. And here's the key. 2 of these states, Pennsylvania and New Hampshire, do not allow early voting. So that means if there was any impact from the FBI reopening the email investigation, it will have full force in those 2 battles. Yes.
Yeah, but we'll have some more polling coming out, and who knows what else could come out in the news. North Carolina very tight, though, right now between Richard Burr and Deborah Ross. Very
close race. In fact, all 4 of these states are very close in the polls. And this is an important time to note that the polls publicly lag a little bit, that we're not quite sure, and they could be off by 2 or 3 points. And the Republicans have an edge in several of the states right now in the latest Real Clear average.
I mean, all of it definitely within the margin of error. I mean, 3 points at the most.
That's right. And this is it. If the polls shift 3 points in one direction, the Republicans could sweep all these races. If they go 3 points in the other direction, the Democrats could sweep. These are the 4 states that are likely to determine control.
So specifically, what do you want to take a look at?
Well, in this state, again, North Carolina and New Hampshire are states with no early voting. Anything that happens in the last week will be fully reflected there.
So it could be delayed a little.
Could be delayed a little bit. And on these states, the message is these are all toss-ups. If either party wins 3 of these 4, they will control the Senate.
Okay, so very quickly, we only have about
Indiana,
10
Republican state. However, Evan Bayh struggling.
Okay.
First state that the polls close on election night. This will give us an indication. Todd Young is tied in the latest poll.
And up next?
Nevada. Well, this is a state that always looks good for Republicans.
Currently.
The only Senate seat the Republicans think they can take away from the Democrats. This one is tough for the GOP. Bottom line, if either party has a good night, they can end up with a 53 to 47 edge. If we end up at 50-50 tie, well, then we're going to have a special election in Virginia next year to determine control.
Well, we'll see you back here next Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay. And that wraps it up. We never know what's going to happen. I mean, good grief. We have 7 days left. It's forever, Clayton.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys.